Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well, and I hope you're doing amazingly well on this Friday evening. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you're up to, have an amazing weekend. But as of now, we are now going to be going live with a um, software app uh, producer who has not only produced this app for uh, getting lettings deals done as soon as, but to help lettings agents and landlords to generate more revenue. So let's go live with Reze. Kipras. Here we go. Sent you the invite. Oh, here we go. Reneze app. Super. Thank you for joining, everyone. We're just waiting for Kipras from Reneza app to join in, where he should be talking about his newly developed app, which helps letting agents and landlords not only to get a deal done quickly, but also to generate extra revenue from doing each of their letting deal. And he's going to talk about all of that. So let's just wait for him. Here we go. Super. Hey,
Hey, hello,
Kipras,
hello, hello. Hi.
how are you?
Not bad, not bad. How are you?
Good, good, all is well. Thank you so much for joining me in today to share your knowledge and to spread that positivity through this live session of where we're going to be discussing everything about your new app. So thank you so much for coming on here.
Sure, thanks a lot. This is the first time I'm doing Instagram Live, so sorry for the technical issues, I guess, if we may
No, no,
call them.
not at all,
Actually,
not at all.
I've never done Instagram Live in my personal account, and I've never done an Instagram Live in the business account as well.
And I get the
So,
opportunity to host you first time, so that's amazing.
yeah, sure.
Super.
Uh,
So, Kipras, before we move forward, if you can introduce yourself as to who you are and what exactly is it that you do.
Sure. So I'm myself the CEO and head of product here at Reniza. So what we do is we have built a pre-tenancy automation tool for letting agents, which automates the entire resident journey from when he has made an offer until he moves into the property. So, holding deposit generation, holding deposit collection, holding deposit form preparation, and all of the draft tenancy agreement, pre-population, then right to rent check,
So
background checks.
you've basically made everything easy at a touch of a button, I guess.
Yes, exactly. So basically, as an
But
agent, once you have,
before we move into the depth of this app, what I
sure,
wanted to ask you is that it's all about sharing knowledge and spreading positivity. So we're going to get up to the journey, but I want to take you a few years back into your childhood, where when we're growing up as kids, teenagers, or university going students, we always aspire to be other careers that we see in front of us, whether it's an architect, whether it's an engineer, whether it's a property developer, whether it's a doctor. What did you aspire to be when you were growing up? Or was this
Sure.
something that you were intrigued into becoming an app developer or a technology developer? Was this something that you were inspired with, or is this something totally different that you wanted to do?
No, actually, initially, so a little bit of background. So all of my family, all of them are in medicine. So all of my family, my grandparents, brothers, sisters, my parents, my cousins, all of them are in medicine. All of them are doctors, pretty much.
Okay.
And we are the third generation in our family. So basically, the third generation, took the different route.
Okay.
So I thought initially until like 15 years old that I'm gonna be a doctor myself, a surgeon. But then I just, I don't know, I always was very keen into tech. So I always liked tech. I always wanted to build something. I always was, you know, doing something, making money in some other ways as well. So,
Yep. Yep.
um, and then when I came here to UK to study, basically I got into real estate pretty much straight away. So uh, I worked in a letting agency for like a couple of weeks. You know, understood what needs to be done, and then in a few months' time, I took my own basically landlords, started my own student housing company in North London, which I exited at the end of 2019. And this is how I got into the property. And I always thought that, okay, you have to have a job, that's good, but you know, if you want to, make more money, let's say, a safe way
You have to
to
be. You have to
go,
be an entrepreneur.
exactly, and a safe way to get in, in that field would be to get in through the property, I thought, and that's what I did.
That is absolutely amazing. So coming back to, when you were growing up and you saw your parents, your cousins, everyone becoming a doctor and into medicine, why did you choose to get into tech? What was so what was so amazing about the the
You know,
technology?
from early days, I was gaming all of my childhood.
Okay.
I was
All right.
a gamer, and all of my family basically probably whenever something broke, all of them were calling me how to fix it, right? So I was, so this one person in the
So
family who always is
you're that
fixing
you're that
things.
one stop
So
shop for fixing
I am
everything.
that person, correct? Yes, I am that person.
Good stuff.
So
And
yeah,
that's when
and I
you
just
realize that your passion for technology.
yeah.
Super. When did you come to the UK and why did you come to where exactly originally are you from?
So originally I'm from Lithuania, and I
Okay.
came to UK. I came to UK in 2015. So this is
Okay.
when, yeah, it's 2014. Sorry. So to study. So
Okay.
I was studying in
And
Middlesex University,
what is it that you
international
wanted to
business.
study? Okay.
So actually, to be honest, I
But
wouldn't
coming
argue that
from
I wanted to study. I was
yeah,
choosing a university which would be more flexible, right? So I chose a medium kind of range university so I could focus, on building businesses, but also simultaneously I would get a degree as well. Win-win situation, basically.
good stuff. But you mentioned about your tech passion. Why international business? Why didn't you get into something like information technology? Why not into app development? Why did you choose to move on with business?
Sure. So myself, I like tech, but I'm not, a developer, right? So I'm the
Got you.
idea generator. I'm also very, I'm also good at marketing. So, I'm with tech, but I'm not a tech developer myself. I know a lot of things about tech development and
Yeah.
the basics of coding, but I wouldn't code myself. I'm more of a
Just
product
to
manager.
just to understand this. So you are like those the twins that had the idea of Facebook, but Mark Zuckerberg was the developer who built Facebook and stole the idea. Something like that, right?
Exactly. Something like that.
All right, good stuff. So you came to London, you did your university year, you went to Middlesex University. After graduating, what did you get up to? What was the norm
So,
in your life?
so to be honest, pretty much when I came here in 2014, I started my, student housing company. So I was, you know, I was employed by this real estate agency, and as I'm saying, I understood what needs to be done in terms of running your own property management company. I've I've contacted some landlords, and I took over their portfolio, and I managed the portfolio on behalf of them. And then myself as a student, I had this Facebook group, and I was the go-to person in terms of students when they were inquiring about the rooms in North London. So whenever a student needed a room, he would contact me. So basically, 90%
And you were
of my tenants.
and you were dealing with rooms around the Middlesex University. Am I right?
Yeah, so Hendon, Collindale, Golders Green, that kind of area. So
Got you.
those three zones. So
And at what age were you doing this?
18. I was 18
Wow.
then.
And how many rooms were you managing at that point?
So my first year I was managing like 20 rooms. My second year I remember I was scaling the company 100% a year. So the first year was like roughly 20 rooms, then the next 40
Okay.
rooms. The
Okay.
peak moment was when I had like 75 rooms. But
Wow.
at that time I didn't want to scale that business more because it's very operational heavy business.
Yep.
Myself, I didn't like to deal with the tenants themselves, especially students. They're, difficult tenants, I would say.
And dealing
And,
with 75 students, I mean, it must have been a
so
nightmare.
I had basically a small team, but, one maintenance guy and one just support guy that would help me. And that's pretty much it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I was just running that business simultaneously while I was developing tech products in between them. So
Okay.
I was doing university, I was doing property management, and I was running I was it usually I think we had a little cutoff. So I was saying,
Yeah, with these Instagram lives, you got to do it from your phone, and when you're doing it from your phone, you get a call, and yeah, it's like, yeah, enjoying Friday evening, I guess.
alcohol free. So yeah, when I was in university, I was running a student housing company and always was building tech products as well. But when it comes to tech, it's always a long journey until you find the product market fit. So initially, when we started Reniza, it was myself, and then a couple of months later, my partner Ben joined me as well. He's a very good friend of mine, and at that time he was working in Nike Corporation. So he's as well a young guy. By that time,
Exciting.
he was 23 years old, and he already changed, I think, 6 roles in Nike Corporation. So the last role he was employed at was sales analyst for EMEA region. So he was
Wow.
flying all the time between Amsterdam and London, and yeah, he grew up the ladder pretty quickly. So,
Within
but then
6 months.
within 6 years. So I think he started working at Nike when he was 18 or 19 years old as well. So very young.
Okay. So that's
So
how you both started Reniza app.
yeah, and then I said, look, I have this
But
idea.
why did you feel that the lettings industry or the management industry had a shortfall and they required a product like this? Why did you feel that?
Well, being myself in that industry, I saw all of the inefficiencies myself, right? So as well, liking, enjoying the techs and seeing how other industries are performing, there's definitely there was definitely a big market gap between, let's say, finance sector and real estate sector. Finance sector, I would say, is like 5 years ahead of real estate, and the tech adoption is much greater than in real estate. Even if we would look at the regulation point of view, right? When you have to do a right to rent check, you still have to check the ID document in
Of
present with the
course,
tenant, right?
of course, of
But now
course.
with finance sector, you could just download Revolut and open a business bank account in a matter of a couple of days with on-FIDO ID verification. So there's still
Of course.
some things, some core.
So is that the medium that you're wanting to bring into the letting industry with this app? Like agents will not have to see the ID in person. They could sit on the screen and they could see that ID, right? Is that what you're planning to do, or no? The tenant would still have to come into my office, show me my ID, even though I go through. We're going to be discussing your app in full detail, but just to give an idea to the viewers, is that
So,
will I?
sure, of course, you still have to accommodate the today's ways of doing things, right? So you cannot,
Okay,
jump, one step further than, let's say the regulations allow you. So you still have to accommodate the way, real estate is being done today, and then
got you.
you can start from there and build some automation around those processes to make them more efficient.
Okay, super. So now let's talk about your app and what it is about, and why did you decide to, I mean, we discussed why you decided to get into this because of the discrepancies that are there in the lettings market or the lettings industry, but what is your app about?
So the app is about, making the life easier eventually for the tenant, right? So making, the app is basically, well, I wouldn't call it an app. I would say it is a software, right? So, an app
Yep,
is a mobile app.
yep,
There is a
yep.
desktop app as well, right? So
Which is a software, yep.
yeah, so the tool allows to, seamlessly process the tenant, right? So, and what it means for the tenant that, for once he has one app where he would start his rental journey and he would finish it. So the grand vision is to accommodate lettings, property management, and facility management.
Gotcha.
Lettings is the first product that we have built and is already in the market,
Okay.
which basically allows to process the tenant and move him into the property from the viewing stage until he signs the AST contract, pays the moving in monies, secures the tenancy deposit, and then he moves into the property. And meanwhile, that journey, we upsell affiliate products such as utility switching bundles, tenant content insurance, zero protection, zero
Zero.
deposit protection.
Okay, got you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then once he moves into the property, let's say if it would be a built-in unit, built-in building of 100 units, then he would have his app. He would be able to see the community inside the building. The concierge would be able to announce some sort of event. If, let's say, there is amenities inside of the building, like business conference room or cinema, the residents
Swimming pool,
upstairs
gym,
would be
all that
able
kind of
to,
stuff.
yeah, so they would be able to book that event. The concierge would be able to, get that report. The facility managers also would track the usability of those amenities. Also, let's say, a lot of scenarios are where the corporate landlords want to monetize around their buildings, right? So they would,
Yep, yep.
open a dry cleaning store on the ground floor. So again, residents upstairs would be able to purchase those products or services through the app. But
So your
mainly,
app,
we
your
we are,
software, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So, but mainly we are now focusing on the first part of the journey, which is the pre-tenancy, which is already live, which is the product we're generating revenues from, and allowing agents to generate more revenues as well. So throughout the whole pre-tenancy process, we constantly get in touch with the tenant and sell him various products that I mentioned, right? So throughout this journey, the agents are generating up to £300 of additional revenues through those affiliate products. And for them, this is a big thing, right? Because last year we had a tenant fee ban, and on average they lost 20% of their income. So this is one of the ways for them to recoup it.
And that's on utilities.
So basically, once the tenant signs the tenancy agreement, the next screen is where they are being presented with an option with one single click to open gas, electricity, water, Wi-Fi, and council tax accounts. So, the conversion rates around this are pretty good because, of course, me as a tenant, I would just click one button and wouldn't have to wait for the letters to
I don't have to
arrive
wait
for the
for, I
post.
don't have to wait on long calls and
Exactly.
holds and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Exactly. And what that means for the agent is that he gets 150 pounds of commissions per one property. And then also we would do that change of occupancy for them as well. So again, the agent wouldn't need to call the supplier and say that, okay, this is the tenant, he moved in on
You
this
would
date.
already have that date on that app, so that app would, you would get the
Exactly.
notification. Your team would call up the people out there and get the whole move out process done.
Exactly, exactly. So
Wow.
there are a lot of efficiencies for the agents when letting, a property to tenants through us rather than doing the, manually through paper, generating those contracts on Word, then exporting to PDF, uploading to DocuSign, sending them over there, sending the holding deposit form, sending the EPC gas safety electrical installation reports,
So
brochures
all
around
those all
the
those emails and all those find that into one single app, distributing it to the lettings agent so they can deliver deliver the efficiency in their service through this app.
Exactly. And 90% of our clients, they use this software alongside their main property management software. So this is a plugin to their current ways of doing things, right? So they would start using our platform once they have a prospective tenant. So very simply, they would be able to see, their vacant properties. Then they would click on the button, add tenant. They would enter the tenant name, surname, email, select to which property they would like to invite the tenant. They would invite it. Then they would click on the button to create heads of terms, right? So they would enter rent, deposit, holding deposit amount. They would select the payment schedule, the contract, which deposit they're using, any
Yep.
additional clauses like, I want a new fridge, standing order reference as well. And then they would click create, and then everything starts for the tenant from zero, right? So then he would receive the how to rent guide, he would receive the holding deposit form, he would receive the draft tenancy agreement, he would click on the button, he would see all of those details already, very clearly on what terms they're paying the holding deposit. They would pay the
Gotcha.
holding deposit. You as an agent, you would receive a notification. Okay, John has paid holding deposit.
Yep.
Then the tenant would move further, right? He would do the partial right to rent check. So we would take the ID, we would store it, then he would proceed to referencing, right? So he would
Yep.
enter his residential address, his how many years he lived in those addresses. Then he would proceed to employment details. We would collect those details and we would send it off to our partner FCC Paragon. So FCC Paragon is one of the leading referencing agencies in the UK, and we have integrated with them. So
Gotcha.
they would then, check those details,
Quick
bring you
question
the
out
tenant check
here.
report. Yep.
Quick question on this, Kipra, is that a lot of the people, a lot of the tenants will obviously be sharing their IDs, their proof of addresses, possibly their bank statements, all of that kind of stuff. A lot of the people have the question about data protection, GDPR. So is your app GDPR and data protection friendly?
Yeah, sure. So, whenever the tenant signs up, there is privacy policy and terms and conditions. And that means as well that the agent does, there was this new legislation that you as an agent have to as well have your own data privacy notice, and you have to send it to the tenant, right? So
Yep.
with this, basically agents wouldn't need to do that, because a lot of the agents even don't know that they have to do it, right?
Yep.
Especially the ones who are managing, small portfolios, like, from 10 to 50 properties, and they don't know that well, all of the bits and bobs
Ins and outs.
around the
Exactly.
regulation.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we with this tool, we make sure that the property is let in a legal and compliant way as well. And
So
and
basically,
also,
even the guy that is dealing with one property or the guy that is dealing with 1,000 properties, they would all be protected under this app.
exactly, and this is actually one of our differentiations from our competitors. So, so we have a couple of differentiations. So one is that our commissions are the best currently in the market. The second bit is that our competitors only work with high profile companies who manage at least 100 properties, who let at least 100 properties per year. So we're talking
Gotcha.
about at least 2-3 branches, right? We made the platform in such a simple way that an individual landlord would be able to use our app. So it doesn't matter whether you have like 5 properties or 10 properties or 20 properties, you would be using our app, you would be generating more revenues,
This
and you
is what
would,
I wanted to ask you as well. That is your app only agent friendly, or can a landlord also use it?
yeah, so actually we're working pretty closely with a couple of portfolio landlords. And sure. So I mean, in short, yes, it's very
Okay.
simple. The
And
user
even
experience, it's super simple.
even those landlords can generate revenues, I guess, if they
Sure.
recommend
So
the app for the tenant to sign up. The tenant signs up to whatever utility bill,
utility
or
switching, right? Yeah, the
and
whole
the
bundle, right?
landlord would generate revenue for himself.
Yeah. So additional £150, right? So
So as a
who
landlord,
wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
you're getting rental income on your property, plus you're getting this revenue for just referring the utility company to the age to your tenant. So it's
Yeah.
absolutely a win-win situation.
Sure. So that's one of the few benefits, right? So one is the utility switch bundle. Another thing is that we have an AR status, so we can sell regulated activity products, right? Like insurance products. So
Okay.
an everyday agent or smaller portfolio landlord or smaller portfolio manager, he wouldn't have these options to sell insurance products to tenants, right? So we bridge that gap, and we as well pay out 15% commission from the premium policy cost. So
Gotcha.
again, if the tenant
So
would purchase that tenant content insurance, we would pay him out like £15. So £15 here, utility switch bundle, £150, 165. Then if, let's say, you
and
would
if, so
present zero deposit option.
let's say I recommend your app to someone, do I get a commission?
We are working on a referral program as well, definitely. So
Super.
it's still in a development mode, but we have this nice idea how to get it, the word out through referrals.
That's amazing because
And the last bit is that zero deposit option, right? So you as well,
yep.
you're able to present that option to the tenant. You don't need to log into another, website, add tenant names, property details, send the link again. So we would do it for you again. And here an agent would earn like 6% of 1 week's fee. So on average, it's roughly around £30. So £195 here. And then there is
Okay.
other 2 products which an agent or a manager would sell to his landlord, right? So rent protection warranty, and then there is landlord content and buildings insurance.
So all in all, an agent or landlord is winning using your app and making his life. It's not about just generating revenue, but it's all about also making your life more convenient. At a touch of a button,
Oh
you
yeah,
have
definitely.
everything. When
Yeah.
your prospective tenant sent you the request before he pays the holding deposit. He pays the holding deposit, you get a notification. He sends his IDs, sends his references, you get a notification. The
And you can
company,
track at which stage he is. So at all
exactly,
times you can see where the tenant is throughout his journey, right? If he is stuck somewhere throughout this journey, you would see it and you would just click, send a reminder. He receives, an email. Hey, it's been 24 hours. You still haven't submitted your references.
got you,
In order to rent the property from this day onwards, we need, the references ASAP.
in this particular time. But that's absolutely amazing. I think your app has got a real potential to disrupt the lettings market. So I wish you all the
Well,
best.
I really do believe it as well. Thanks a lot.
I know. I'm sure. I'm sold. Literally, I'm sold. So I wish you all the best for your app, whatever you're doing, and I want you to take it through the next stages. You mentioned about facility management. You mentioned about the service management, all that kind of stuff. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. But before you go, Kipras, I do this with
Sure.
all my guests that come on here. We've been through a lot of negative sentiment over the last few months in 2020, and the whole reason of doing these live sessions is not just sharing the knowledge, but also spreading positivity. So, what positive advice would you like to share with the world today so that they can take that on board and move forward in life?
Well, it's a broad topic, right? I guess
Just a
there's
quick
many
advice. I
tips
mean, maybe an
tips and
advice that
tricks.
you'll exactly.
I'm just thinking, there's been so many mistakes that we've done as a company throughout the last 3 years, and there were so many learnings
Yep.
that I'm just thinking which one was the best that would actually,
Anything that you wake up with every morning.
oh, with every morning. So, every morning I wake up and I move forward, right? All of those negativity points, all of that negativity, um, it's behind my back, right? I always look ahead,
Absolutely.
and I'm not afraid of any hurdles, right? And just keep on moving forward, building the tech. And yeah, you well, let me just think of a good ending quote. Well, again, if you have to, you have to grow your skin, right? You have to be pain tolerant if you're building,
Of
such
course.
a company.
Of
And
course.
if you're in high reward, high risk businesses, you have to have a thick skin. And if you're dreaming about that, so this is what I would suggest you to grow, a thick skin.
Absolutely. But thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you on discussing about what you've done, what's your passion, how you're going about building this app. It was really knowledgeable to know all of that stuff from you. So thank you so much for joining me, Kipras.
Thanks a lot, Murtaza, for having me here. Well, yeah, have a
We'll
nice
speak.
rest of
We'll
the
speak
Friday then.
soon. And look, I want to be an affiliate of your app. So do send it to me once it's ready and once I can generate revenue for myself.
It's already there. It's already there. You can start using it today.
Super.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye bye. Bye. So that was Kipras from Renese app who spoke about his whole app development in terms of making the life of a tenant, a lettings agent, a property manager, a landlord easier by just using their app, which is called Renese app. If you're a lettings agent, if you're a property manager, if you're a landlord, if you're a tenant, check this app out, and I'm sure it's going to help you out in every possible way when it comes to renting a property in London or the UK. But thank you so much to Kipras for joining me. Thank you to all the viewers that tuned in. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and I shall see you again next week, Monday, on my next live sessions. Until then, have an amazing weekend. Take care. Bye bye.